right, coming up now are the Jews.
We got a few categories to go through.
Did you do all of them?
All of these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, as always, just a little reference point here.
Levant.
Just so we know where we're at. Canaan is basically what Israel has today. On this side, you got the 12 tribes set up. On this side, it's when the 12 tribes break into Kingdom of Judah, Kingdom of Israel, and then you got these other biblical kingdoms over here. Same thing we're doing with all the types of them. They got 20 different books. Every time we think we're like, okay, Torah, and the Tanakh or whatever, and the like any.
And I've noticed there's the different sects are the ones that just reject different books.
A lot of them end up that way, yeah.
Fun fact: Talmud is what the Illuminati is based on.
Well, yeah, because it's all there. Remember we were saying in one of the last Khazar episodes, it was like certain Jews got very like litigious and like coding things in language so that no one really could understand but them.
Yeah, and we do want to start this with our big thesis with all of these, with tracking these elite things, is that we're getting them off the Jewish people. So we're looking into all the different types of Jewish sects and different types of Jewish theology and thoughts and different things, and we're not tracking bad. We're not saying the Jews are bad. We're tracking these specific elite Babylonian bloodlines that they trace back. They're Satanists, like we've talked about. They're evil people, and they use the Jewish religion as a cloak.
It's like a microscope. We keep making the zoom higher, where it's like, all right, the bad people are hiding in the Jews.
Yes.
Click
Jews aren't bad.
Now it's like the bad people are hiding in the Ashkenazi Jews. Like, okay, flip it again. So now we're trying to get to the next level of like, where are they hiding?
Because where's the thing?
It's like not like a demon possess, but I mean like in a cartoon
leech.
or I just meant in the sense that they can like hide, like that's what they jump in and just kind of like blend. You know how zebras have those stripes like that, so you can just like walk in and they'll blend together. They have like chameleon to do that to themselves to whatever group they want to get into, so they can just assimilate. And that's like when we were talking about the Khazar thing, why being the merchants was nice, because it's like, oh, well, you know, they do the stuff and you know it's all good.
Yeah, as the Raidenites. Well, Zach, I mean, we've come to learn they're reptilian shapeshifters. Well, I mean, what we're really tracking down, we're not even tracking down people. We're tracking down reptilian,
hybrids,
fourth hybrid that derive from fourth dimensional beings.
I saw today that every DNA we know about has also been found in meteorites.
Good. That's good. That's good.
Oh, dude, and a politician was saying that there's 4 or 5 UFO bases in the ocean.
Oh, my God. Disgusting. Who all come from the middle of the earth, probably. Under the sea.
Very likely.
Yeah. Which as from that
If you're
podcast.
asking me, I would say very likely.
Yeah, very likely. Which Sosa will tell you. That's just, or Santos will tell you. That's
Sosa, drug dealer.
That's just lower dimensions. You're going deeper into hell. That's what these beings come out of. How about, I can't believe that guy has a spore of the plant that's coming soon.
A lot of people saying that that's fake, which is understandable.
Yeah, of course. That's crazy.
And you hope it is fake.
What was that? That was the meteorite? He had a meteorite that had some like shit growing on it, and then he let it grow, and it got fucking huge. That's the plant, dude.
A lot of people saying that's fake, and I hope that's the case.
When's that plant coming?
I thought it was like 2030 something. I hate that. Every now and again, it trickles in my head. I'm like, why?
That was the scariest thing.
Why even do anything?
That was the scariest thing we've ever. The cube Y files on the moon was one of the other scariest ones.
The soul recycler stuff. Yeah.
The soul collector on the moon.
That one leaves you not feeling the best about the state of things.
But yes, the Torah, The Pentateuch.
That's the first 5 books. Then you add the prophets and writing books. Then that equals the Hebrew Bible known as the Tanakh. Then they go and they standardize it, and they call it the Masortic text because it's like the edited version from the 6th century on. Then you have the Midrash, which is the rabbis talking about the Tanakh or the Masortic text.
Oh, see, I've seen that one. I've seen that quoted before.
That's when you quote the Midrash as like because they write it like how it's the Bible. So then you quote it and it's like, well, who said that thing? And it's gonna be like Adam, and it's like, oh, rabbi fucking whoever, yeah. Which sometimes is cool, but other times it's like,
well, who the fuck's that racist?
Yeah.
The Kabbalah.
A collection of writings by Hebrew mystics who interpreted the Torah and the Talmud more symbolically, to the point that they would read into like they almost read it like how we read shit. They're like, but if this page is number 75, it's page 75, and then there's 75 vowels on the page, and then
they're into that shit.
They're on every third word. What if it's a key? You read every third word. Like they
did that with the Bible. Remember when they
oh yeah,
like the numerology shit where they were like, look, the Bible. The
Y-Files
encoded in it is 9/11.
They present it as like they were right again and again, and then 20 minutes in, where you're like, damn, numerology is crazy. It's like, but they were ignoring the 5,000 times they got it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, all right, that could have been a 5-minute video.
Yeah, exactly. I fucking hate that shit.
So that is all your like biblical teachings and commentary on that. Then you have the oral Torah, which is the Hebrew law, which they try to claim goes back to the same time that Moses got the tablets and the original books, the Pentateuch. But everyone says that that's like impossible. Maybe it goes back to the Second Temple period, but it doesn't go back to Moses. That seems very unlikely.
Yeah.
Is the consensus there. So the Mishnah is the first time they write down this oral law. Then you have the Gemara. G's suck because I never know which way they're supposed to go. Watch it be like, in Hebrew, they only do the G sound. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I suck.
You dumb fuck.
Yeah. The Gemara is the Rabbin's commentary on the Mishnah.
Yeah.
You put them together, you weave them together, you get a Talmud.
Yeah.
So that's like their law book more so. And then the Halakha, meaning the way to go, is Jewish law, which is different from Hebrew law. And that's the Torah, the Midrash, and the Talmud.
Interesting. And again, we're not some fucking... This isn't for scholars. This is for normal...
We're experts by no means.
This is to get normal fucking people onto this shit.
By retards for retards.
Exactly. This is where real people...
You grew up drinking tap water, hose water. your brain fucking calcified. Did school destroy your brain and your ability to want to learn and strive for anything? All right. So this is the precursor to the Hebrew, Israelite, Jewish stuff.
It's the OG.
Oh, I just want to say, we're not talking about Israelis. We're talking about Israelites at this point. Israelis are modern. Israelites are the ancients.
Yes.
Israelite translates to someone who claims El as their God, or someone who, or it's not what it translates to. That's what you can define it as. Someone who claims El as their God, and or someone who lives there. I know we've talked before. There's that like meme that says that it's ISIS. ISIS El. Yeah. So there's that meme, which I didn't look too into. But as far as what it actually translates to, it goes back to
It's the Holy Land.
Well, it's the Bible story we read about when Jacob fights the angel. Israel means to struggle with God.
Yes.
And because that angel was like kind of God, like I was worded weird, they named that place the land Israel because that's where he struggled with God. And then the etymology of it is El has power, and power meaning as a prince, and El is the son of like the bigger god.
Okay.
Or maybe, I don't know, depending on the pantheon.
Yeah.
Because Baal is the prince and El is the king in this one. It also means El strives. So etymologically, it could just mean people who were pledged to El, but then it could also mean people that were in the land at the time, which is probably Venn diagrams a circle, but there's a little bit of non-overlap.
Yeah.
This is the religions of the Levant and the Middle East, just so you can get a picture. This religion's coming out of Canaan, so we're going to be looking at who's influencing Canaan to make this influx and nexus of a new religion that will become the Israelite religion. So if you're in that top middle picture, you're in Canaan, take that picture with you now, and we're thinking east-northeast of Canaan is Mesopotamia, like Babylon and Assyria. You got straight north of Canaan, the Amorites, northwest, the Hittites, west, the Mycenaean, and southwest, Egypt, which, just while I was doing my research, it said Tutmosis took control there in 1500, and he's clearly just Moses. So
Tutmosis.
just throwing that out there. 1500 BC. I forget to say the BC. It's a massive difference.
Which Moses is just Saturn. Allegedly.
The Saturn stuff. Did you do anything specific to the Canaanites?
No.
Okay. I was thinking that's going to be its own thing.
Yes.
Where maybe we would zero in on the
Yes.
exact that
Yes.
into. So this is the overview.
100%.
I also had a bunch of new stuff about the 12 tribes. The shit they're on now, they think that it wasn't 12 tribes. They think it was the North tribe of Israel. And then when they rewrote when they were deciding what books to put and make a Bible, they were editing it and they were adding in the Judah lands.
I've heard this. I've heard this from the Useful Charts
That's
guy.
where I got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad.
I think for now we can probably just leave it at that, and then maybe that'll be either in the Canaanite or maybe its own thing.
Probably its own thing.
Because that goes into like the lost tribes and what we think those are, and if it was legitimately united Israel that got broken into Israel and Judah, or if it was Israel and Judah, and then after a time they just wrote it down like, this is when we broke up, as if it wasn't always that way.
Yeah. Well, as we've learned, a lot of it's rewritten. A lot of it's rewritten, and a lot of it's fucked with, and a lot of it is like not what it
translated.
Yeah. And then who knows like what happened with the timeline? Like who knows when this shit actually happened? Who knows if half of it is a metaphor? Who knows if, you know what I mean?
Dude, it's fucked up because, like, during this time, they talk about shit. I mean, like, the gods are around.
Yeah.
And it's only, like, 1,000 years later where they start being like, oh, we worship the gods, but it's not like they're here. But all this time, they're like, and Marduk's in that city, and this one's in that city.
Which that is, like, if you're going with the Anunnaki theory or whatever, if that's what they are or whatever, that's 400,000 years ago when they were on Earth.
And, of course, like, modern scholars, or every scholar probably says that that's obviously not the case. But I don't know to what extent they have fucking powers. I don't know to what extent they're connected to the creation of things like they're presented as, but there has to be someone around.
Who's like the head dude or who the god is. Like what made them...
giants were fucking real.
Yeah, and like what made them think of all these people? We're talking like pantheon shit, but like with Marduk, like what made...
Well, that's because everyone wants to...
Because then you go into like cosmic shit.
People want to point out the thing of like, oh, well, of course it rains, so everyone's going to be like, we have a rain god, but... Why does so many pantheons like overlap perfectly?
Yeah.
It's because, I mean, we'll find out with the Canaanite shit. They were like just kind of taking their religion from the Mesopotamians for the most part. And then like, that's what the Israelites did. They just kind of, whatever's around, everyone has a different pantheon. And they just go like, oh, you're praying to that guy? He seems cool. Like,
and then that's when you get into like the David Icke theory of like, where the Canaanites are also the Phoenicians, and then the Phoenicians...
They both mean land of purple.
Then they take they're these seafaring people, and they take this pantheon or whatever they're taking around the world at this point. That's where his whole thing is like they're Quetzalcoatl, they're like these other gods in like Mesoamerica, and they're the Norse people. Like it's all that shit.
So,
but then that's when you get like it's all the same version of the same story, but they're all just building off this Mesopotamian stuff. So it's like all these religions are all preaching their own fucking thing, but they're all telling the same story, and it all goes back to the one thing of whatever the hell that is. And what's depressing
what the hell is
that,
China doing?
What the fuck is China doing?
Show me what you got.
No, exactly.
I'll show you
That's
mine if you show me yours.
You wonder if that's why they're communists. Them and the Rus.
I was fucked up last night and being like, damn, if everything is a psyop and everything is like symbolic and like everything's the opposite, that's like, shouldn't we be like best fucking, what on this planet would get in between a Russia-U.S. alliance? Who would be able to mount any? So isn't that wouldn't that be the biggest,
closest? I mean,
wouldn't that be the big, like, we got to make these two fucking hate each other, make them the bad guy in every fucking movie, and then once it was time for Middle Eastern dudes to be the bad guys, so that Israel could get their land, and we could justify having a war over there. Every fucking movie, terrorists, Middle Eastern people,
exactly. 9/11.
The same way before that, it was Nazis.
Terrorists, yeah,
you can just, I mean,
every bad guy was European.
Huh?
Every bad guy was like in like Bond films, it was like European guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or just make another World War II movie and be like,
Hitler, bad guy, which he is.
For the most part, what we understand currently.
Yeah, we haven't done the Hitler episode yet. Wait till the Hitler episode.
Our current understanding of things.
When we finally shave the mustache. Sure, mine naturally comes in thicker here. Isn't that weird? It's odd.
It's God telling you.
Yeah.
The same way the spirit of Wotan came through him, he's coming through you. The spirit of the fatherland.
Of the fatherland?
Wotan.
What is that?
Odin.
Oh, Odin.
Germany's gods are like knockoff Norse ones.
That's cool.
Wotan. That's where we get our days from. Our months are from Italy.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
The days are Norse. Thor's Day.
Oh, really? Oh, that I didn't know.
Wednesday's Wotan.
We were talking about the months. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That fucked me up.
They got us out of alignment with nature.
Yeah, dude.
It's on such a fundamental level. What's all these people, they go, oh, Middle East, I don't even care what happens over there. There's people that are living in mud. Same thing with Africa. Like, people love, maybe Graham Hancock's right, and those people are fucking happier than we are because they know that they don't need to be chasing luxury handbags that don't mean a fucking thing. Like, shit like that. But then also, they talk about, like, these people are, doing nothing, turn the place to glass anyway. When we were, like, carrying diseases, they were building ziggurats, so maybe it's just like our time in the sun or whatever right now. But also, we're slaves. It's like, yeah, they're living in mud or whatever. Like, that's what everyone like talks about Afghanistan. Like, oh, they're living in caves. It's like, brother, if I wasn't like so addicted to all the things I am now, I'm pretty sure I would rather live in a cave with like 10 people that love me than be a fucking human cattle part of the Matrix feeding into the most evil, like, it's so easy to be like, I got flat screen TV. Yeah. Fuck that boy in a cave. It's like, but how's your life? Like, you work all week long to go collect half a paycheck because the other half goes to the government who sends $5 billion off to Israel, and then Israel kicks them back a slice. And then that way somehow it's not a bribery. Yeah. It's because it's our money. Israel doesn't have to bribe them. It's our money that they have it set up. It's like the bank shit. They just set it up in a way where it's like you don't know. It's not directly changing hands. It's mob shit. It has to go through 7 people before it hits the Don.
That's what all this is. We're not supposed to pay taxes.
Yeah, we seceded. We rebelled against the empire to not pay taxes because it's stealing. And America knew this for a long-ass time. And we just... it's literally like a infection. Like, as people... The way we talk about politics, where we want people to die off, that's like what they probably didn't want to happen before. Like, people died off, and then these fucking spineless pieces of shit that just accepted a paycheck from another country, or, you know, like a corporation. Yeah. It's just like, oh, what if you voted on behalf of me and what I want instead of the 100,000 people you represent, the million people you represent?
Everything becomes a handout.
Why would lobbying ever be legal? They're going to come and do ticky-tack laws on us when they don't have that law on them at the top.
Yeah.
People can just come in and legally bribe you.
That's what's
from
fucked
another
up.
country.
It's like, that's what's fucked up, is that it's like it's lobbying, but it's like, no, it's bribery.
Be like, oh, cool, so I'll bake cookies and bring it to show my... Oh, no, that's a bribe. Like, lobby?
Yeah.
Well,
he accepted $100 million from AIPAC.
And that's what was fucking my head up, too, because when I realized we send them so much fucking money every year, like $3.8 billion or whatever it is, it's almost like, rather than them embezzling and trying to steal money, they convince everyone, like, well, you know, Israel's our ally, so they send money over to Israel, and then Israel kicks them back the money that they would have stolen in, like, old school times. But that's, you know, illegal to steal. Exactly. So they do this, and it's like, well, you know, the lobby, you know, they raise funds for my campaign. It's like, what are you talking about? You're a state representative. You don't need $1 million campaigns or whatever. And if you do, it's probably because people don't like what you have to say, and you just have to shove shit down their throat.
Warmo was talking about how Netanyahu was planting bugs in the British Prime Minister's personal bathroom. Yeah. Personally. He's planting bugs personally.
Our CIA says that every time they have Israelis, they pull bugs out of because they like detect everything. They go, guys, what are you doing?
They had tracking devices on the Secret Service emergency services. Yeah. That would, like, if something happened to the president, that would be the emergency services that would go help him.
And all these things die.
They find trackers on them. And then what?
Yeah,
there's no fucking...
Headline goes out, outrage, nothing.
Outrage? I wouldn't even have heard of it.
I mean, outrage in the comments. Like, people saying, but then it's like, all right, new day tomorrow.
And everybody spies on everybody, but...
Well, they're our ally.
That gets to a point. Yeah, but it's like, yeah. I mean, everybody's spying their allies too, but... Not that. You don't do
We're
that.
the best.
Yeah, obviously.
We get to do cool stuff like that.
Yeah. We were the best, though. If we could just fucking get back to...
There's still no clear number one, because everyone else that would beat us, it's like they're best by other people sucking. It's not true being best.
But if we could just shed these chains of... You know what I mean? Just like...
I do know what you mean.
We had to cut that out last time.
I know exactly what you mean. I know more about what you mean than you might know.
Hey, and isn't that scary?
Anywho.
Jews.
Like I said, this is just kind of setting the stage. We got the Canaanites with all those other surrounding religions. Then that turns into an Israel that isn't unified. It's a 12 tribes. Then you get King Saul, makes it one thing, Israel, asterisk, like we said, could be not the 4 tribes of Judah. Those could have been added later.
Yeah.
King David makes Jerusalem the capital, brings the Ark of the Covenant there. King Solomon builds the first temple. And after he dies, that leads to the asterisk Israel-Judah split. So now we're talking the actual
first temple.
So for the first 100 years of this era, it's still, they call it Yahwism.
Yes.
Where it's like...
Because they're still into Yahweh, right?
It's Yahweh, but I believe they still have a pantheon, and they still make offerings to other gods.
They're
But
still doing sacrifice.
they still do sacrifice. That's like at this point, it's like much overlap with Canaanite. Yahweh is just their guy.
This is also because they have the big temple.
And to that point, it's a temple-based religion where you go there, you worship an idol, you bring an offering, sacrifice, versus what it would later become, where it's about, praying over your scripture and reading your scripture and just understanding law.
Yeah.
It was about community.
Damn.
So now we get in, and this is like, 500 years or so of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Assyria comes a-knocking. They're the powerful force of Mesopotamia right now, the dominant force. They come through, attack Israel. They take its people. And 10 years later, Samaria falls, which is their capital city of Israel. Assyrians, they moved in people like the Phoenicians into the city, where a lot of Israelites still were. They only captured like 10 to 20% of them. And a lot of them that were there also fled into Judah to get away, but a bunch of them stayed. So on top of them...
Which is southern Israel, Judah.
The 4 tribes of Judah is the southern
That's the southern
half, but it might not even be Israel. That's why I keep it fucking up on that.
Of this land.
Yes. Of what today we would call Israel. That's what the other fuck up thing is. Like, they've commandeered the term, so you keep thinking modern Israel, and it's like, well, this Israelite.
Well, greater Israel. But yeah,
ain't nothing great about it now, brother. So now that's how you get Samaritans from, is those Israelites that mixed with like Phoenicians and other refugees that Assyrians brought in.
Yes.
They differ from Judaism in that they are only about the 5 books. They don't believe in any of that other stuff. They don't care about rabbis talking extra stuff and laws. They go, the Torah is what God said to Moses. That's legit. We think Mount Gerizim is the place of worship, not the temple in Jerusalem, because which also not for nothing. I know they claim God told not Solomon, but David, that he wanted a temple, but then David couldn't make it because he killed too many people, I think. He's like, you're a battle guy. Like, wait. Yeah. And then his kid did it. Warrior. I think is what happened. But if we're saying that things are just added later, why couldn't they just say oh yeah, God told him to build that temple? Wouldn't it make more sense that a sacred place would be a mountain and not something man-made?
I agree.
Just throwing that out there.
Unless the temple was made by God.
But they don't claim it's built by God, right? They claim that
I don't think so.
Solomon built it with those people there. It's not like a ziggurat situation or a pyramid situation where it's like, ooh, it's sacred geometry.
Or if it's built on the natural spring.
Yeah.
That is the thing. Yeah. Which is what the pyramids did.
The Apsu.
Yes.
I love when things come together.
Ugh.
The Jews that got taken to Assyria, or not Jews, Israelites, they got taken to Assyria, they never came back. So that's what leads to the idea of the 10 lost tribes, is that Israel's the 10 tribes.
12 tribes.
12 tribes of Israel, yes. But Judah is either 2 or 4, depending on the useful charts guy. Because before it was just 2, but now he's saying it might be the 4.
Yeah.
So that's where the lost tribe thing comes from. And also kind of where the Jewish diaspora comes from. All right, so the Assyrians do that to Israel in 732. By 597, the Babylonians come and they do the same thing. The Babylonians are, more dominant than the Assyrians at this point. They come through, they destroy Judah, capture its people, and then 10 years later, they take out Jerusalem and Solomon's temple. They took a lot of Jerusalem's nobility, including a prophet and the prince, and a quarter of their general population. Now, the people that were left there, the same way that the Israelis fled into Judah, now them and the Judahites are fleeing from there into places like Moab, Ammon, Edom, and Egypt. So like south and southeast. So this is where like the Israelite religion kind of comes to an end because Israel never comes back. No. Judah comes back, but Israel never does.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at the, I don't know how to say that word, Achaemenid, but the Persian Empire, the first one, they take control of Babylon. Cyrus, their leader, allows the captured Judites to return to Zion, to go back to their homeland, Zion. So they get to return the way the Israelites did not. Zoroastrianism is, of course, Persia is Iran. That's like Iranians' old religion that isn't connected to the Mesopotamian stuff. This might have had some influence on them, despite it being a brief time, because this is the time we see them get more monotheistic. They go from monolatros religion, which means that they believe in a pantheon but only praise one god, to now a full monotheist one where they're like, yeah, there's only one god.
Yeah.
And then some wealthy Judites stayed behind in Babylon for economic opportunities.
Which makes sense.
And I wonder what those guys were up to.
This is where you get the term Jew from.
Yeah, because now Israelites not a thing. It's Judites. So now it's the Judaic religion. Like, that's the thing. Second Temple period.
The mystics.
So I don't have a ton of background on these guys. I just know this is how they were broken down.
Yeah.
What's up?
It's kind of hard to find some of it.
And it seems like the one to pay attention to is the Pharisees. You got the Essenes as the mystics. The Zealots are the guys who wanted to go toe-to-toe with Rome. The Sadducees are the elites who ran the temple. You got Jewish Christians, which I guess are just people that are like about to become Christians all the way because it's like not a religion all the way yet. So they're like in the process, people. Transitionary times. And then the Pharisees. Their name means set apart, separated. So of all these groups, all except the Pharisees were killed off when the Romans destroyed Solomon's temple. The Pharisees left Jerusalem after this attack and went 40 miles west to Yavni, where they became teachers of their religion. They'd go on to be the first rabbis.
This is the start of Rabbinic Judaism.
Josephus, or how do you like saying it?
Josephus.
There you go. He was said to be a Pharisee. Who knows? Anytime I read shit like that, I'm like, I get how like half our history is based on what this guy said, but also, isn't he kind of like the biggest like fibber a little bit?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He also switch sides.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the guy we're gonna bank everything off of. Like, oh well, if he said,
yeah.
But then other guys that are the same level of historically prominent as him say something about a god, they're like, well, that's a myth. Obviously, it's like. What if this motherfucker said him?
It's also like this guy switched sides, or is it like, hey, you're a Jewish historian. How about either we kill you, or you write these books for us?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah,
and maybe that's what the Kabbalah is. It's reading what he wrote to be like, oh, what's the coded message?
Exactly. In here? And how many people before him were like, no, kill me? They go, cool.
That's got to feel so good to say before dying horrifically.
Yeah. Fuck you.
It's got to feel good for like a minute and then you bleed out. Yeah.
Lungs fill with blood.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this sucks.
One thing that led to these divisions between the 4 or 5 types we just named was the fact that their temple was built under Persia's allowing them to do so, this second temple. So these different categories are determined by their different interpretations of what that meant, that they were like allowed to build it. So they each have different things that kind of lay a claim to being like the legit version of Judaism.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But see, they say that where it's like, oh, well, Persia let us make it. And it's like, well, isn't that kind of what I was just saying? Like, I know it's your people, but it's still like a guy.
Yeah.
It's not God. I don't know.
Let my people go.
70 AD to 1740, as you said, Mark, this is Rabbinic Judaism. This is where things stop getting fun and cool and start getting diabolical. In 200, the Mishnah is compiled by Rabbi Judah the Prince in Roman Palestine.
They're taking our mitzvahs.
What's that?
I don't know. Spud always says it.
Oh.
Taking our mitzvahs.
The Mishnah is as we said earlier, it's the oral Torah first written down, which is all like the verbal clarifications. Around 400, you get the rabbis in Jerusalem, and they start writing down the first Gemara, which is basically the Talmud, because they already have the other part. So in 400, they're doing Jerusalem Talmud. In 500, rabbis in Babylon, which is considered at this point in time to be like more a center of Jewish thought than Jerusalem, they write their own version of the Talmud. The Jerusalem one is like incomplete and rushed, because they're up against the Crusades, I think. They're getting, like, persecuted. I don't know if it's the Crusades yet, but they're getting persecuted for their beliefs. So they're kind of, like, scrambling to get it done, where Babylon just gets to do it how they want to do it.
I think the first crusade was like 1,000.
I was going to say, I thought, because that then goes into, like, Middle Age. I know that's way later, so. Or vice versa. I don't know.
It's crazy the Dark Ages coincide with Khazaria's rise and fall.
It's certainly noteworthy. It's crazy how they added 1,000 years to history and filled it up with, that's
filled it up with horse shit.
He always says, because he's like, he talks about Rome, and he's like, so there was no books about teaching, like, how to teach someone how to read. There was no, like, children. There's only just these, like, record books that, like, AKA him saying, there's only the minimum amount of writing required to make it seem like there was a civilization. There's none of, like, the other things we would usually see in a civilization.
Like, wow, this is how they were teaching the kids how to, like...
Yeah, there was...
You have 1,000 years to write shit. You didn't write any of this down.
So things like that do make it kind of interesting.
It's like, but no, here's all the tax forms and, like, the law.
That you could just, like, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. So you think Rome's fake?
Rome was Tartaria. Rome slid in after, took credit for it, is his theory.
Interesting.
The Romans, the same way like the
Julius
say
Caesar?
that they didn't build Machu Picchu. They're like, oh, we showed up, and this was the same way Egypt is like, oh, before time, Kemet, they built it. We showed up after. Same thing.
So is Julius Caesar Tartarian?
It's probably made up. I don't know.
That's true. One guy says he's Jesus.
His kid is what they draw him as. Yeah. Caesar Borgia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I know that from a rap song.
Our calendar, like, BC is, like, before Caesar.
So in this period of Rabbinic Judaism, the two exceptions on the front end are the Karaite Jews and the Ethiopian Jews of Beta Israel. Crazy that a bunch of, little Semitic white guys in the desert, in the desert, alpha a country in Africa and make them the beta.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how they fuck around with words.
Yes.
Because you read things and you go, Israel must be tremendous then, if Ethiopia is beta Israel.
Exactly.
They twist the language.
They sub.
The Karaite Jews reject the Talmud in 800, and they only follow the Tanakh. This is a more pure version of Judaism, and they believe in individuals interpreting the Hebrew Bible for themselves and not listening to rabbis for every little thing. I feel like this is like when you go to church and they like don't read from the Bible. They're just like, a preacher's just freestyling like, you should be good to your neighbor.
Now the gays are the problem. Here's what's in the Bible. It says.
They read one sentence from the Bible, close it, and they're like, and I think what we all know that means, and just spits.
Yeah.
So that's what I fuck with the Karaites and the Samaritans, because it's like,
that's almost like what we did with the Bible.
You read the book, and you figure out for yourself what it means, and you can look up, you can wonder, like, oh, these guys argued about it a bunch. They probably made some headway on it, but like, you don't need to take what they say at face value.
Exactly what we did with Genesis
and Enuma Elish.
Yeah.
Ethiopian Jews,
black Jews.
Yes, but we don't know from where?
Yes.
They potentially come from the Second Temple period, but no one would really know how they got there. And they also definitely have connections to these rabbis when they start up. But they're like predating them still. They just connect with them early. So they're like...
It's like the Ethiopian Christians. They're like, I don't really... They got a whole extra book. I don't really... Who fucking knows?
Are they Christians?
They're the Book of Enoch, right? Or is that them?
Ethiopian Bible has another book in it. I don't know if they're Christians, though.
Oh.
I thought they were just Ethiopian Jews, and they just had another book in their Bible.
They call it the Bible, though?
They call it the Hebrew Bible.
Okay. Yes, the Hebrew Bible.
The Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible.
Yeah.
So for the first 500 years A.D., Jews lived in Palestine, Mesopotamia, Egypt, North Africa. This is all under Roman Byzantine rule, a unified people by their religion. So they're no longer like local, the Jews. The only thing tying them together is Judaism. It's not a region thing. So
They're not tied to a temple anymore.
This is no longer a temple-based religion. This is a scripture, prayer-based. By the 600s, Jews are considered protected citizens in the now Muslim-controlled areas. So you got Sephardic Jews in the newly controlled Muslim areas and Mizrahi Jews in the like classically Muslim areas. Then another 100 years, 700s, Jews migrate north out of Italy into the Rhineland, as you were talking about in our last Khazaria episode, which is Germany, North France, and those are the Ashkenazi.
The Nazis.
And then those are just more specifics on them up top. Christians took control of Spain back. They kicked the Sephardics out in 1492.
Started the Golden Age.
Notable year.
And the day Christopher Colonna.
Colon. Also, you can just say anything with an accent, and I go, oh, I believe you.
Colonna.
And they're like, well, Columbus comes from Colon. I go,
oh, yeah, man. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
I don't get why they added all those other letters, but
That's
I feel like they could have
shit.
kept it that. But hey, you gave a nice accent mark. So now the Sephardic Jews who, you know, they had a couple hundred years where things were separated between the three. Now the Sephardics, by 1492, spread out into Europe and into the Middle East again. These Sephardics, once they get back to the Middle East, they end up having a big influence over the Mizrahim Jews, and I think that's why we usually don't hear about them. We only hear Ashkenazi and Sephardic, and we don't hear that Mizrahim one.
Mizrahim.
Great word, Mizrahim.
I think I've heard that before in a different context. I don't know what it is.
And then, again, referencing the Khazar stuff from last time, depending on which version of history is correct, the Ashkenazi Jews had, they were down to the 800, or by 800, they were down to like 350 people. Prior to this, they mixed with groups, possibly the Khazars, particularly southern Italians. And prior to that, they were only mixing with themselves, which is what leads to this genetic bottleneck. This means that finally, now they're like Ashkenazis are a distinct ethnic group because they have specific DNA markers, which a lot of the DNA is European that got added in, but a lot of it is that classic Judaism DNA from being in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And then, despite starting in Germany, France area, a lot of the Ashkenazis got pushed into Eastern Europe and Russia, 1740 to 1840.
Yes.
The halakha, another good word.
Halakha. The Hasidics. Created in Ukraine.
Well,
hot
first
spot.
you got the Reforms, the Conservative, and the Orthodox, which are different branches of of rabbinical Judaism based on their interpretation of the halakha. Reform people say that the individual interprets it. The conservatives say that you have to follow the halakha, but we can update the halakha as, times go on, things change, That was, like, the go-to example is always, you can't use your card, or you can't use technology or whatever on the Sabbath. Mm-hmm. But then they go, yeah, they said that when you could still walk to the temple. I have to get in my car to go to temple. I'm sure if they knew this change, they would say, like, oh, yeah, use your car to go to temple. That's not
exactly.
So that's like the conservatives. And then the Orthodox is full-blown, have to follow the halakha, and no, it cannot change. So that's like the spectrum. And then within Orthodox, you have the Haredi, which includes the Hasids, the Hasidics. And as you said, created.
And the Hasidics are the ones that dress up.
Yeah. Curls, hat, gown.
That's Hasidics, yes.
They started off in Ukraine, mostly Ashkenazi at first, but eventually a couple Sephardics joined in. These guys, a lot of the Kabbalah users are like individuals. This is, I believe the Hasidics are one of the only like groups that are kind of associated with it. From my understanding, the Kabbalah is more like once a rabbi hits a certain point where he like masters the Tanakh, then he's kind of like, all right, maybe I'll take a look-see at this Kabbalah thing.
Interesting.
Do you have varying things on that? I think there's newer people that kind of jump into it, but I think the classical way it's handled is that.
No, that sounds like it makes sense. Because who else uses the Kabbalah?
The first time I ever heard it was the racial draft when they make fun of Madonna.
I'm guessing they're going to pick Madonna and finish off the job Kabbalah started.
Yes, well, Rob, she was born and raised Catholic, then she became a whore, but over the last decade, she has studied the Kabbalah, and she even wrote a Kabbalah's children's book.
Oh, here come the Jews.
So I think there's like new age type people that
Which
do
makes
like
sense, yeah. Because that's what that whole,
mysticism.
that's that symbol thing.
Yeah, that's the tree of life.
Yes. Is that what that is? The tree of life?
Either that or knowledge. It's a tree.
Okay. Tree of knowledge, maybe.
Probably. More so than life. I mean, they're the same
life
thing.
Life is knowledge. Knowledge is life.
Knowledge is power.
That's what makes me think this is the pursuit. This is the meaning to life, is trying to figure out this stuff. Because if you
as long as we've got our boot on our neck, that's the meaning of life, is getting it off.
Yeah, but it's also like, if life is like if you do have an eternal life up somewhere, and this is just you have a reoccurring life over and over again, and it is to learn things. It's like maybe you have to learn how to get the shackles off before you can actually get them off. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if that'd be the meaning of life, because back in the day, it would have just been like,
yeah, but who knows how long this has been happening for? I don't fucking know.
It could be your personal meaning, but it's not like
maybe
the
the
general
meaning of life changes as the ages go.
Or it's just individual. Maybe it's like your calling.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hasidics are like clans. They can trace like.
Oh, really?
The Hasidics apparently are like.
See, I didn't know that.
Like the one in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, I think is.
So those neighborhoods are like
the Chabad Lubavitch. That's like the name of the guy they trace back to, I think. I didn't get super into it, obviously, because this whole thing is like an overview, just trying to touch all bases. But
this is an overview. We might dive into these certain ones.
This is like familiarizing yourself with the term, so they can't trip you up with like, oh, well, this is that, and that's like, okay. Like for a minute, we were like, it's not everybody, it's the Ashkenazi, and then it's not the Ashkenazi. It's an even smaller group. So we're clearing names. Innocent. Yes. The non-Hasids, known as the Misnagdim, made up of the remaining Ashkenazis, also called Litvak Jews, because they come from Lithuania. By 1770, the Haskalah is known as the Jewish Enlightenment. It had people re-examining Judaism for these modern times, and it coincided with Jews' legal rights being restored throughout Europe. Like all these places, they were formerly like second-class citizens. Now they're being like, all right, you could be a person.
Secular education they had.
Many of these Jews became secular, but many of the German Jews wanted to reform Judaism by integrating new science into the religion. And by the mid to late 1800s, a lot of German Jews migrating over. And this is when it comes back to my like banker, Bilderberg, family tree stuff. That's like these guys now.
Yeah.
The Warburgs.
100%. And the Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that.
This is when the Illuminati starts. This is when...
Yeah, I think that's around
this is when the Rothschild banking dynasty is popping off.
The Bavarian Illuminati, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
1840 to now, Judaism now is predominantly in America, a little bit in Israel. So on top of the German Jews that just showed up, more Ashkenaz Jews from Eastern Europe and Russia come over. So prior to this, there's like a handful of Sephardic ones, but it's not nearly on the scale as like this influx of Ashkenazi. So that becomes like the dominant form of Judaism or type of Judaism. You got Reform, most common type of Jew in the country at this time. Non-Reform, basically the same things we were saying in the last slide,
yeah.
but now it's like broken up even further.
Yeah.
I don't have too much to say about those guys.
No, I didn't have much on them either, to be honest with you.
Our shit's the ancient shit. Like by this, it's like, what do I care?
It's so this is at this point we're getting into like different like denominations of like Christians, where it's like, oh, you have a Methodist, you have this, and it's like,
you
who
guys
gives a fuck?
do snakes, yeah, whatever.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah, these are modern day. Who gives a fuck?
Just drawing lines.
Yeah,
this is the last
and we say this now, but like we could get into this later and be like, ooh, these
for
people
sure.
are. But for right now, who gives a shit?
And now you go 1948 to now, Judaism in Israel. They got a chief rabbi Ashkenazi and they got a chief Sephardi rabbi to overlook the two main things. And then they say they're not denominations; they're just like categories based on how religious they are. Are the Hiloni, the Masorti, the Dati, and the Haredi, with Haredi being the most strict. And then that's a little picture of the Jewish quarter. You see the Western Wailing Wall. You see Dome on the Rock. That's where the temple was.
Dude, I was looking up when I was doing all this shit. I was on Google Maps. And I was just going through like Israel, and this is like old Israel, like the old land or whatever. And you zoom in, and like there's museums everywhere, right? And you start clicking on shit because it's all in like Hebrew writing, so you don't know what the fuck it is. And you click on it, and it goes like famous street. You look, and you're like, oh, look that up, and you go, oh, this is the street Jesus walked down. And then you click on something else, and it's like, oh, this is where Abraham's buried. It's oh, this is where like Solomon's temple was. It's like, wow.
Whenever I'm reading
it's
that
fucked
shit,
up. Where it's like, damn, this is just street. Like everything here is wow.
I'll see a word that I haven't heard from since Sunday school.
Yeah,
Bethlehem.
Yeah, no, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. But like every little place is like a museum, and they have like you go in like a basement of something, and there'll be like a golden menorah. And like it'll be like, yeah, this is King so-and-so. This is
not types of Jews, but just some Jewish terms to cap things off with. Everyone says Zionist now. Zionist is someone who believes in Israel's right to exist as a Jewish state, and they always say it like, "Oh, poor me." They say that I don't have a right to exist. They say we can't even exist. It's like it's not at all what people are saying.
Yeah.
You are saying that you want to exist as a Jewish state in a place where people already live and who aren't Jewish. So you don't have a right to do that. You have a right to create a state somewhere.
In Greenland.
You have a right to have Jews stay around Jews, but I mean, the second you make it a Jewish state, it's like, well, isn't that not good?
Yeah.
What other example? Like, you have Rwanda is an ethnocracy. You have when South Africa did apartheid. Like,
good things don't come from that.
Yeah, it seems like an overtly racist thing that they get to spout off about and be like, I want a white-owned town. It's like, bad. And then these motherfuckers get standing ovations when they say, we have a right to exist. It's like, you really don't, though. You have a right to exist.
Yes.
You don't have a right
Obviously,
to
as a people, you have
genocide a people out and then put up your new rules about who's allowed in and who's allowed out. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
How the fuck does that work? How do you level a city and then you move in and you're like, well, we're going to rebuild, but you folks are not allowed back.
You hear them talking about it already? They're like, yeah, us and the Americans are already figuring out percentages of like who gets what of Gaza. There's very exciting real estate opportunities to be had.
Yeah, 100%.
They're saying it at like a forum, like a speech.
Why do you think? Yeah, it's like, why do you think we leveled it?
Yeah,
it's like easy demo.
Oh, he made a joke about that. He said, well, the construction's already over.
Yeah, exactly.
The demolition work's already done. Yeah.
Netanyahu?
No, it was like their head of real estate or head of land or whatever the fuck.
People are fucking, it's disgusting. And like, what, and like, again, it sounds like we're very pro-Palestine. And it's like, yeah, we get that, but it's like, I don't agree with the other bullshit that comes with that. Like, it's a very odd, it's a very odd cross-section to where like, we're coming off as,
I'm not like pro-Palestine to the point of like, out of the two, that's who I'd be rooting for. But if there was no issue with Israel fucking with them, I wouldn't be like, I hope they're doing okay. You know, like,
Yeah.
it seemed like they have also their own set of
Issue.
extremism.
Yeah. Well, 100%. Yeah. I don't know.
And speaking of people calling people anti-Semitic, they changed the definition
I heard about that in 2002.
from being against Semitic people, which is
This is right after 9/11.
convenient. Semitic is people who speak either Hebrew, Arabic, or Aramaic. And now anti-Semitic means hostility or prejudice against Jews. So they changed the definition.
Or denying the right to a Jewish state. I saw. It was like the third definition.
Ugh. But, like, who else gets to do that? And say, we only want, like, Rwanda's got a civil war about it. Apartheid's, like, one of the most unanimously, like, heinous things in history.
Yeah.
The Turks genocided, like, the Kurds or whatever.
The
That was the other example I saw.
Pol Pot.
The only other two modern ones I saw was there's, like, Belarus and two other, like, white countries. And it's just, like, two different types of white people.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're not sure if this counts. But it's nothing, there wasn't a fucking civil war to get there. It's just like where white people are from.
Yeah.
References. That's it.
Do with that what you want. Do you know what we want to do next week?
I'm down to do
Wanna tease
Canaanite
anything?
stuff
Been looking at Canaanites.
and just
And,
connect the thread. Because seems like Judaism.
We gotta figure. Or we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Canaanite stuff. If not, we'll figure it out. But you fuckers take care.